volleyball as Cornell takes on Yale in what is the penultimate match in the regular season for both of these squads. And boy, is it going to be an interesting one. As alongside Carter DeWeese, I'm JJ Duke. And Carter, let's get right into it. We know the Ivy tournament field. That's done. But as we take a look at the standings, oh boy, there is so much to play for an Ivy League champion.
There's so much to play for, JJ, and you can just see how strong the top of the Ivy is between Princeton, Cornell, Brown, and Yale. This is the only matchup tonight between two confirmed Ivy tournament teams.
Princeton and Cornell, they can both get a share of the Ivy title tonight, but results have to go their way. Yale and Brown can play themselves right back into it as we take a look at our matches to watch. In addition to this one, Princeton and Harvard. Princeton, they hold their own if they can win out this weekend, but don't sleep on Brown as well. They've been outstanding all year.
Don't sleep on Brown, and also a chance for the Crimson to play spoiler. Their season will be over after tomorrow night, so all the more to play for.
And remember, even what's more important is we're just about ready to go here from John J. Lee Amphitheater. Games one, sets one are going to be a crucial tiebreaker, so every point is going to be important from here on out for the rest of the regular season. Cornell swept Yale. That was back up in Ithaca on October 11th. Yale to serve and a false start, 5 yards. We will do it again as Uri Park left too early. I appreciate that we were ready to go, but our down official, which is Ron Sparks, was not quite ready to blow the whistle. He was going through, making sure the libero charts are good to go. Our man in the chair, Zach Drosch, is good to go, and now we're underway. Uri Park, the first year from San Diego, serving. And Carter, a big thing tonight for Yale. Something that they really struggled with against Cornell as that swing goes into the pin. They've got to serve tough. That was a problem for them up in Ithaca.
They've got to serve tough. This is a Yale team that's second in the Ivy League in aces this season with 1.7 per match. Hasn't been something they've struggled with throughout the season, but they really struggled up in Ithaca.
And forcing another tough receive, but putting it down nonetheless is Eliza Konvicka, the senior outside and right side from Houston, who's registered over 1,200 career kills.
Yeah, 1,200, more than 1,200 career kills for Konvicka. She was first on the team last season in kills, and she's first this season. Just another prolific campaign for her.
Last year, second in the Ivy in kills and points. First team all-selection this year, leading the conference in both of those stats. Over on two by Illyris Abraham, dug into the middle. That was Ava Bogan covered up. Tight for point set. Lauren Kellen able to cover. Point set, able just to spear it across. Transition opportunity for the Big Red. The comfortable take from the back row. Point set, cross court. Nice up from Jada Sion. Point set, trying to tool the block. Aria Ju, the Yale libero, had to play it. Really good stuff from both of these teams. Good defense, and turning it into a kill is Jada Sion.
So many great individual moments on that rally, JJ. Really a long one just in point number 3 of this match. Both of these teams getting in rhythm here in JLA, but Cornell getting the better of Yale right there.
Last year's Ivy Rookie of the Year, Mackenzie Parsons, serves that one long. Cornell, as you mentioned for Yale, one of the tougher serving teams in the conference, but Cornell right now second in aces per set at 1.7. That number does drop a little bit, though, in Ivy play as they go up against a Yale team offensively in the Ivy conference play best, as that's nicely tipped over by Konvicka.
And JJ, that's going to be something to watch tonight because Yale is also first in the Ivy League in terms of aces allowed per set, 1.04. So they've been great on serve receive this season. And it's going to be something to watch today. When you're that good on serve receive, sometimes you can prevent the opposition from building up these big runs, and Yale's looking to set the tone here at home.
Michaela Gray, the first year from Killeen, Texas, serves into the net. This Cornell team, who finished tied for third in the Ivy last season at 8-6 in the H&8, bring back 14 of the players on that roster. And all the first years for Trudy Vandenberg, they do make an impact. We'll see a number of them throughout the course of this match as Sarah Pomar with a clean serve receive. Nice up by Aria Ju. And point set, beautiful touch.
A beautiful touch, and that's textbook from the Bulldogs. How about Aria Ju early with an excellent dig? That one just spinning in the air, perfectly setting up Poinsett for the kill.
Last time we saw Ava Poinsett here at John J. Lee Amphitheater, she went off for a career co-best 24 kills against Penn. And a swing goes into the net from Megan Gaffigan.
And more on that performance from Poinsett. That was a performance where Yale needed a lot from her. So many swings from Poinsett, 65 in that match. The freshman with fresh legs.
Serve for Mila Mihailovic goes long. You saw the legs start to tire a little bit, and Penn got stronger as that match wore on. Ultimately, that loss for Yale does come back to hurt, though. You could say that for a lot of these teams in the conference. Cornell also having issues against the Quakers. They lost in straight sets a few weeks ago in Philly. Poinsett, it's tight, went for a high hand. Strong block touch in the front row. Turned into a swing from Ava Bogan. Sherlock on two, well read. Transition one-on-one, cross court. Good block touch by Campbell Lane. That denied Nicole Malice at the far pin. Quick in the middle from Bogan. Good up by Ju. But a big block. Megan Gaffigan taking away the lane.
How about Megan Gaffigan? A great swing on the slide. That all made possible by the serve receive. What a great job by Aria Ju sending that one into the sky.
Gigi Barr goes into the lineup. We saw her briefly in that Penn match, but featured regularly last weekend in Yale's trip to Harvard and Dartmouth. Tough serve receive from Pomar. It's tight. Sherlock quick to outwit Bogan.
That'll go down as the second swing for Sherlock already here in set number one. You know that's on the scouting report if you're Cornell. Sherlock, the setter, will distribute a lot, but watch out for her sending it over in two.
Yeah, Sherlock in Ivy play alone, third in 9.8 assists per set. Serve is long, and here is Sarah Pomar, the native of Ponce, Puerto Rico. Junior that enters tonight's action, nearly 600 career digs. Her 3.4 digs per set is third in the Ivy right now. That's tight. Sent back over. Boulain on one. Well, we've seen her do that to some good effect, some not so good effect, but Cam putting it away.
That's just a pogo right there from Campbell Lane. We've seen her verticality at many different points this season. That's just another one right there.
It'll be Boulain to go back and serve. The sophomore from Encinitas, California, has really come on strong. As Malice diving right in front of us saves it, but another poor serve receive from Cornell. Here's Louise Abraham to put it down. Nice change of pace from the junior.
There's Abraham getting it on the action, but JJ, I think you can tell the story of this first set as Yale's up 9-6 here with how the serve receive has gone. Yale's been so good at receiving these serves from Cornell, and Cornell on the other hand has struggled. Some good serves from Yale, a good one from Boulain right there.
In fact, really Yale, and they're serving tough. They're trying to hit their spots with 3 errors. We'll send the really strong traveling contingent from the outfit out of Ithaca, New York. As Doa Ozalp will go back, and in fact, she'll go back to serve now. The senior from Istanbul. Ivy League honorable mention last year. This Cornell team over the course of the season hitting .249, but led by Mackenzie Parsons, who's 16th in the country entering today at a .418 hitting percentage. Malice into the pin, so point to Yale.
Another point to Yale right there, but a little more about Doa Ozalp. She had a career match against Yale last season. 64 assists for the senior out of Istanbul, so she might have some confidence going against these Bulldogs tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of a change for Cornell. They run in the 6-2 as that tools the block. Smart swing from Sion. Now this year, Ozalp is sharing the workload a bit. Mary Wolcott has seen some time over the course of the season. Michaela Gray as well. Very good depth at the setter position for Cornell. CJ Holdsworth, the freshman from San Marino, California. She'll go back and serve with her team chasing 2. Good receive to Gigi Barr. The swing is long and wide.
Gonna get another look at this swing right here. Gigi Barr coming across just a little too strong. Might have been going for high hands. but Cornell able to get out of the way.
Last Saturday against Harvard, Barr went off for 8 kills off 1 error in 21 attacks. Yale with a tough receive. Free ball over for Cornell to try and tie it. Good up by Sherlock. Abraham tried to get on one, but Holdsworth was there. Ozolp had to come a long way to get it over, but it's down. Great defense from the Big Red.
We've seen some big swings so far from both of these teams, JJ. This has been a really high quality beginning part of the first set. We're 20 points in. We've already had some impressive moments.
Both teams hitting well over under 200. Barr again off the slide. High hand, strong block touch from Sion. Point set. Ooh, that caught a lot of the tape as Ozolp awkward. Great up by Sherlock. It's going to turn into a swing, and Cornell are into the net. Yale getting a lot of contributions from their middle. Cam Bolane with a couple of kills. Now Laurice Abraham with 2.
How about that dig out right there by Sherlock, and then Abraham right there to tuck it in, but it didn't even matter with the net violation.
Yeah. 4 of the 6 kills for Yale in this first set have come from middles. Great receive. Cross court. Nice up from Yuri Park. Leads to Abraham. Big swing from Laurice as Yale are back up by 2.
Abraham building something right here in set number 1. Yale keeping the pressure on the visiting Big Red.
Cornell in Mackenzie Parsons, 16th in the country in hitting percentage. Abraham 1 spot behind her. That's 17, hitting 408. Excuse me, 417, my apologies. Great swing into the cross court by Konvika.
There's Konvika right there. You know, she's expecting to have a big night. Double-digit kills in 18 of 21 matches this season.
Ironically, one of her tougher matches is a miscue by Yale in the middle. Give a free point to Cornell. One of her tougher matches came in that contest last Saturday against Princeton, where really everybody for Cornell had a tough one. But Konvika, 2 kills, 7 errors off 25 attacks. Very unlike her. Tougher point set. Yuri Park sets far pin to Killen, but she gets blocked.
Big Red doing an excellent job early, JJ, defensively setting up against these Bulldogs. When Yale's been able to set up their attack and play in a comfortable set offense, Cornell's done a good job responding with their blocking schemes.
But Abraham got the one-on-one, and it's down. Going back.
Letting that one fly. She's looked really strong early in a bounce-back spot.
When these two teams met last month, Eliza 15 off 36 with 5 errors, hitting 278. She will go volume when needed in terms of swings in a match. Tough receive for Yale. Point set into the block. Third block for Cornell here in this first set. That will send us to a timeout on the floor. Big Red are up early here from New Haven, Connecticut.
The Ivy, and it's Poinsett leading the horse race this year, but so far it's been Cornell who's getting the better of Poinsett. The game plan seems to be to stop her first and make Yale adjust.
Yeah, already tonight a kill off 11 attacks with 2 errors. In the previous meeting last month, Ava, 8 kills, 9 errors in 43 attacks. Remember, that was when Betsy Goodnow for Yale was still in action, who's been unavailable for the last month or so. So there were more options at the pins for Aaron Appelman, but it's very much looking at point set. And then what can you get from the middles? Point to Yale.
Point to Yale in a tight situation.
Yeah, it's a foot under the line from Cornell.
Right, and that was all created off the serve from Mila Mihailovic. Did an excellent job tucking that one into the corner and making the Big Red scramble to receive.
And this is where Yale have to be so good tonight. It's on serve. They almost have to go big and have that high error rate as that swing into the pin from Gaffigan. If they're able to execute tough serving, go for their spots, we've seen from Cornell, they've had moments shaky in the back row with their passing. As Pomar forcing Michaela Gray to come a long way to get that. Sherlock, that's tight for point set. And it hits the floor. Boy, everyone in a Cornell jersey staring at each other. And Trudy Vandenberg has to call timeout as she is not happy in this rotation. Immediately tells her team to get to the bench.
Yeah, there's Ava Poinsett. Again, she struggled early in this one, but we're still only in set number 1. And she already throws a curveball at the Big Red to get kill number 2, just dropping that in the campfire.
And you can see on the left side of your picture, that's Aaron Appelman, 22nd season as the Yale head coach. Along with the Brain Trust, Kevin Lazo, John Post, and Austin Buchanan, Coach Appelman. She knows, and she's been at this stage before. It's not quite done just yet. Still a chance for Yale to get even the outright Ivy title, but right now, just wind up peak while they're still piecing it together. The opposite side for Trudy Vandenberg. They have this very unique finish to the schedule where they're playing all the teams that they're going to be facing next week in their final 3 of the season.
Yeah, you can wonder, JJ, whether that's an advantage or a disadvantage, right? I mean, every team will have a recent scouting report on you going into the Ivy tournament, but you're also comfortable playing them. But I think what a job Trudy Vandenberg has done building up this Cornell program. They were really successful in her first couple of years, and they had an excellent season in 2019, but they struggled post-COVID, 6-17 in 2022, 7 wins in 2023. And she's really built this program back up, 14 wins in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, part of the Ivy League coaching staff of the year last season, 14 wins, 10 losses. It was, ironically enough, it was actually very much a hot and cold conference schedule for them last year. Almost a win one, lose one mentality. It was a great up off the Gaffigan swing, but Cornell will have another look. And Yale now in transition. Poinsett got a look, went for high hands. Good tracking by Gaffigan. And she'll turn it into a swing. Mihailovic has a spirit over. It's still off the floor and just sent over. Yale need to terminate here. The slide to Belane. Great block touch. Ava Bogan to the near pin. It's down from Konvika.
A lot of scrambling right there, JJ. That ball bouncing around the net a lot more than usual as both of these teams trying to get in sync early. But Cornell getting the better of Yale right there. And that's an important point for Cornell. We came out of that 15-point media timeout. Yale winning 4 consecutive points. And now they get one after the timeout from Coach Vandenberg.
Eliza, who's on serve, already 5 kills in the match. The point set made it work. Not the best set. It was off the tape and behind her, but the first year from San Diego, able to outwit the block, and now she'll go back to serve. Their team leading by 2.
And 7 aces on the last 4 matches for Poinsett standing here on the line.
He's second in the conference in kills per set and aces per set, 3rd in points. Good block touch. Sherlock on 2. It's good. Allie Sherlock, along with her 9 aces and 3 digs, got a couple kills. You feel like for Yale, it's crucial for them to win this first set. That's an obvious statement, but just the way that Cornell's been rolling over the course of the season, Yale at home, again, short staff, they need to get out in front early.
Well, that and the fact that they got swept in Ithaca.
And that ball's just wide. Whoa, Hallie Sherlock, the Yale captain, thinking about it. I wonder if Cornell is going to, they're looking at everyone. No, it's just going to be a timeout.
Yeah.
And that was just it was an awkward one because you never quite know. That ball nearly, Carter's, we're going to take a look at the replay. The ball nearly traveled over the pin. Ooh. Yeah, this might be the one that will do it. Okay, it's out. A little too close to take.
And yet they're up 4, 5 away from taking set number 1. Speaking about how important this set is, confidence against Cornell has been lacking for Yale this season. Again, they got swept up in Ithaca in a match where Cornell looked dominant. So for Yale to take set number 1 will be really important.
3-point run for Yale. Nicole Malice, a big swing, but a great up in the back row by Poinsett. Gigi Barr. In transition, Gaffigan at the near pin. Great decision. Weirdly enough, for Megan Gaffigan, that's actually her first kill in the match. We need to edit some of these stats because she's been on a couple of blocks tonight. Either way, good finish from her. Boulain off the slide and tools the block. Very smart swing from the sophomore. Carter, she's grown up in front of our eyes here this season.
She's absolutely grown up. And she has that raw athleticism, but JJ, we've really seen her turn that athleticism into production.
Yeah, Boulain had very rarely played up until the road match at Brown, and she's really turned it on. Beautiful run on the slide by Parsons. In a conference that is full of outstanding middles across the board. On the floor here today, we've got a couple of really good ones. And Parsons and Abraham and Boulain, amongst others.
And Gigi Barr out there, too. An abundance of riches for both of these teams.
Gigi stands in a class of her own. I only hold for Gigi her moment specifically, but you are correct as Abraham puts it away. Perfect 4 of 4 for Larice. Yeah, what Gigi has done over the course of her career, the senior from Illinois, multiple times all-conference, over 860 career kills, hitting close to 340 in her career. Yale a chance with Abraham, it's good.
And that's 5 of 5 for Abraham. She's a big reason why Yale is leading in set number 1. And Yale's hit well in this first set. I mean, they're 28th in the country in hitting percentage and serving to their advantage right here.
9 kills from the Yale middles in this first set, but Parsons, big side out. And now Cornell are out of timeouts here, so they need to serve tough.
Gonna get a look at this swing from Parsons. How strong is she out of the middle, picking out her spot. That one slicing between Abraham and Jew. Difficult to handle for the Yale libero.
Yeah, coming off a 13-kill performance against Princeton last Saturday. Also had 11 kills and 6 digs against Yale. Previous meeting. To Abraham, changing it up. It's set points. Coming for the Bulldogs.
And 6 kills on 6 swings for Abraham just in set number 1. She's done it every which way to Sunday.
Which is a good thing because in this conference we don't play volleyball on Sunday.
Exactly.
You get to Sunday. Set points. Off the slide to Parsons. Great up by Aria Jew for Abraham. That would have been a great moment. Transition defense to offense. Cut shot that's played over. Parsons puts it into the open court. Great swing from Mackenzie Parsons, but great defense on both sides.
Great defense on both sides, and what a job by Parsons right there. Yeah, with a chance to win set number 1 on that point. Parsons gives the Big Red a little bit more life here on the road.
Clean receive, point set, high hands. It's long, but it is a touch at the net, and Yale will take it 25-20. Again, we're going to talk about tiebreakers all throughout the weekend. It's an important first set for Yale. After Cornell swept the Bulldogs in Ithaca, Yale strike first. Back in a moment on ESPN.
It's an insane number, but you know Cornell comes in here with some confidence. But that also speaks, JJ, to how strong Yale has been throughout the tenure of Aaron Appelman. I mean, winning 20 consecutive seasons against any conference opponent is quite a feat.
Yeah, it's 18 straight matches. In fact, Cornell have only won 7 sets, period, in the previous 18 matches here. One of those was a 5-setter back in 2015. Yale now, in addition to all of that, they have won now 15 straight sets at home against Cornell. This goes back to what we were talking about briefly with Cornell. They had the control of how they finished in the standings because they're playing everybody around them. You lose 1, okay, you can still survive, but you're going to need help. You lose 2, well, now you're going to be traveling away from home almost certainly. Yale led by the 6 kills of Larice Abraham, who was a standout in set number 1 for the Bulldogs.
6 from Abraham, but I also want to shout out Yale's libero, Aria Ju. Did an excellent job in that set number 1 on serve receive, especially. Kind of calming the Yale defense and improving their transition play, allowing them to set up those attacks, of which Abraham was a big beneficiary.
And Yale are going to have to scramble. They're going to have to get very scrappy, almost gritty with their defense. It's going to have to be unrelenting, because what Cornell has to offer is a number of different weapons and another different positions. But Larice Abraham, speaking of, we talked about with Ava Poinsett the last time we saw Yale here. That was a 5-setter against Penn. Well, Poinsett wasn't only the career setter. It was Abraham, career best 19 kills against the Quakers. A lot of that offense was done early in the match, though, where you felt on that day Yale probably had that one done and dusted early, as Bo Lane with the solo stuff gives Yale an early 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and JJ, I think there's a lot to learn for Yale from that Penn match. You know, you can't take your foot off the gas for a moment. And I'm sure that's a lesson that Coach Erin Appelman is telling her squad.
And in addition to that, is that swing misses wide, so Yale out to a 3-0 lead. It's a credit to the rest of the conference where there is no easy match.
Yeah.
Everyone is capable of taking sets, taking matches off the others. It's a credit to what Penn specifically, I've been high on them for the last couple of years. They've got a number of talented players and all very young as well, so they're only going to grow. As Kellen gets a big swing by good cover by Pomar. Cross court, Aria Ju equal. It's a great pass as well. Points out with the block late and gets it down. Great decision from Hallie Sherlock to find Poinsett.
And how about Poinsett coming out strong to start set number 2? It was clear Cornell was game planning for her presence in the first set. Goes for high hands right there, finding different ways to attack the Big Red.
Poinsett, who's registered 10 or more kills in the last 6 matches, gets another one, and now a solo stuff. Yale out to a 5-0 lead.
Wow, and just to continue that conversation, JJ, about the loss to Penn, sometimes you see, of course, you never want to lose a match. But sometimes you see a loss like that really activate another gear in a team and another level. And after a dominant weekend last weekend where Yale swept Harvard and Dartmouth, they're off to a flying start here against Cornell.
Sydney Zonka into the match for Cornell. That one blockered out of bounds by Konvicka, and Yale up 6-0 here.
How about that from Ava Poinsett? She just had a solo block. Right there, she gets the dig and the kill. What a start to set number 2 for the Yale first year.
It's all about the momentum. You talk about lessons learned, keeping the foot on the gas. It's keeping the momentum sustained after sitting around for 3 minutes. After you won a set, great up by Aria Ju, but Cornell will get their first point. However, really well done by Aria Ju on serve just to get Yale that early cushion.
She's having a good night so far, and now Yale's hitting percentage, JJ, up to .381. Yale a difficult team always to stop, but especially when they're swinging this well.
Pomar with just a pair of digs serving. Kellen cross court, it's good. Love that swing from Lauren Kellen.
Kellen came up big in the postseason last year for the Bulldogs with 27 kills combined in the semifinal and the final. She knows how to turn it on when it really matters, and here she is in the penultimate match of the season.
And in the senior season as well, so the urgency is going to start building. Of course, Yale will have their senior day tomorrow. Near pin, big swing from Malice. Nicole Malice, a senior from the state of Virginia, who averages over 2.25 kills per set. She didn't miss that one.
And Malice missed last season due to injury, so It's been great to see her coming back this season for Cornell and making an impact. And she came out in that first match after missing all of last season against UAlbany with 18 kills.
That pent-up aggression, waiting for a full year, and certainly didn't leave anything. Bo Lane, that looked to have gone into the net. Cornell are asking for 4 contacts, but a free ball nonetheless. Off the slide, into the block. Just kept off the floor by the last moment, but a great swing by Malice. Ooh, for a second there, it looked like Yale successful with the block, but Malice gets a big crack at it.
That was impressive resilience right there from Cornell, a quality they're going to need to get more of playing in a difficult road environment here in New Haven.
Sherlock had to chase that down, and tough on two. Back row, Konvika, nice up by Mila Mihailovic. In the middle, Parsons, great up by Jew. And Sherlock able to spear it over. Yale can reset here. Park sets far pin, point set cross court, good up by Malice. Platform to point set, that's put back over by Ozol. Sherlock on two, yes! Oh, what a point! Great defense from both sides, and it's ended by the captain.
Just another excellent rally. And how about the emphatic dump right there from Hallie Sherlock? Goodness gracious, what precision.
She has gotten so comfortable at calling her number. Again, Sherlock sitting as kind of the understudy to Carly Deal for the last 3 seasons. Defensive specialist, serving specialist at times. She was splitting with Bethany Wu earlier this season after missing the first couple of matches. And Sherlock, all of a sudden, there's a reason why you recruit players, to have moments in seasons like this. Great slide to Bo Lane into the block, and that will go around the pin. And it's always reminded to us whenever we speak with Aaron Appleman before that there's always great players that we as fans, we as commentators don't often get to see for a few years because it's so tough to crack Yale's lineup. But when you do, you make the most of it. And Sherlock and others have. That ball's down from point set. 8th kill of the match.
And speaking of that, JJ, it shows how impressive it is that Ava Poinsett walked onto this campus here in New Haven and was immediately a starter. That is not an easy feat, and she's made the most of her opportunity this season.
And, you know, first impressions could last a lifetime. A co-career high 24 kills against UConn in Yale's home opener. As an ace from Cambo Lane, another one of those players that's taken the opportunity and run with it.
Yeah, and Bolane had a really efficient night last Saturday against Dartmouth. 10 kills on 15 swings.
Set up from Konvika. Gigi Barr went high hands. Tough from Malice. Net joust that Abraham wins. And Larice remains perfect on the night. Not sure if that's going to be counted as a kill or a block, but it's a point all the same.
JJ, now Yale up 6 here in set number 2, and the energy feels different from this Yale bench. Just a lot of joy expressed on the court. Not to say that it hasn't been expressed this season, but it's been a lot of calm, composed, focused. I mean, tonight, of course, they're still focused, but really willing to celebrate these points, which is fun to see.
And that's also where, you know, we've spoken about they're at their best when they're loving the game and playing with a smile on their face, but the urgency is there as well. And this is a Yale team that is traditionally so dominant at home. They probably would have taken a little bit personally dropping that match to Penn, especially in the positions that they were in over the course of the contest. Thinking that if things would have changed, maybe Yale would have been in prime position to still be that #1 seed and potential win or a share of the Ivy title. Big hands by Abraham. And Yale claiming for an illegal contact, but Parsons with a great set. Again, remember, prior to the start of last season, lessening the rules on illegal contact. Maybe 2 years ago, that's probably a double. Tonight, no.
Yeah, that's a good shout. JJ is now the captain, Hallie Sherlock. Going to have a conversation with some of the officials here. I think Yale would have a decent case for illegal contact right there. But we'll see, just sorting out some of the rules here.
Yes, right now, Hallie Sherlock went over the chair and Zach Drosch to stake at any sort of a claim of an argument. But really the message will just be on to the next point as Parsons serves. Again, the rules were changed in the way to kind of streamline from the collegiate to the international level. It's a big swing, that ball off the floor, and it turns into a point. Mila Mihailovic, though, for Princeton. We had to protect the equipment around us. We're all good. It'll be the serve now of Michaela Gray, the District 16 5A MVP at Chaparral High School. On Texas off the slide to Barr. It's blocked. And a stare back from Ava Bogan.
Strong block from Ava Bogan right there. Using that frame at 6'5". Get in front of that one and send it back.
1.33 blocks per set in league play, which is second most. But Abraham quick to side out. She really can't do any wrong here at John J. Lee Amphitheater.
It's 8 kills on 10 swings with no errors. We've spoken about her efficiency and how remarkable it is. She's top 20 in the country, but on a new level this evening.
And again, in matches like this, when you're ramping up for postseason players, we mentioned the Open. Both of these teams know they're playing next week. That's beyond a shadow of a doubt. The star's next to the name. But you really want to find that right form to peak at this time of the season. A lot of these Yale players who were on the squad last year want to get back to the NCAA tournament. Into the block. Point set, and Abraham with the rejection. And that's going to take us to a timeout on the floor, as well as Yale, after winning the first set, they're up here big in set number 2. You're watching Women's College Volleyball on ESPN. And they're having a lot of success.
A lot of joy from the Bulldogs so far this evening. And on the other side, if you're Cornell, you must be frustrated because you really haven't played your worst match. In fact, Cornell has looked good here tonight. It's just been better from Yale.
And Sydney Zonka puts it into the net. Second time we've seen her in a set. She came off late off the bench in the first. Yuri Park serving. Yale wanted to serve really tough here tonight, and they've gotten a lot of free points from it. Only just the one ace, but a lot of tough passing, but that's too good from Eliza Konvicka. I mean, she gets, I want to say, at least 4 to 5 inches over the block. Her point of contact is insane.
Right, and she has great size at 6 feet 2 inches. Also that leap in the extension of her arms.
And again, Yale's block is very good. They block 2 balls per set. Their front row is all above 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2". But Eliza just jumps out of a gym. And again, we're playing on a hard court, not the Terraflex court.
Right, and what makes Konvicka so dangerous too is that she uses that verticality to top spin on the ball. Can really create some velocity.
Point set, went for high hands. Good block touch by Bogan, but she has to chase that. Homar, back row. It's good. Eliza Konvicka with another kill. The senior from Houston, who averages 3.8 kills per set. About 3.5 in Ivy play. The only second best to Ava Poinset's 3.67. But tonight is carrying the load. 7 kills off 18 attacks. Good call off by Aria Ju. Poinsett with the block late. Good cover up though. Konvicka back row, and it's good. Someone called to leave that one, and that was right in the corner. Although Aaron Appleman is going to challenge this one here. That, from our perspective, looked like it was good.
From our perspective over here, it did look like it was inside the lines, but that's Aaron Appleman showing trust in her players. They huddled up and immediately turned to her and made the challenge symbol, saying that they had a better look at it and that it wasn't, that it wasn't in. And because we over here, Aaron Appleman is right next to us, we don't have the best look at it.
So this is interesting, though, at the time of the challenge. Now, I'm not one to, quote, waste a challenge if you don't feel 100% confident, but I also like this as a bit of a mini timeout here. Don't burn a timeout. Konvicka's got herself going now with the 9 kills, a few in a row. Yale having some tough serve-receive moments off Pomar. So you can reset.
You can reset, and you also, if you're Yale, want to nip in the bud the momentum that Cornell might be able to build here. Because if you're Yale, you really only need a 3-4-0 run to put this set out of reach and make it really difficult for Cornell. But if Cornell can build a couple here, this is successful, it'll be 17-12, right? Or 17-13, rather.
It'll be 18-11.
If the challenge is successful, right?
Yeah.
If the point is successful, if the swing is successful. So, this is an opportunity for Cornell to build some momentum.
All right, so here's the look. Again, original call is ball is good. And we're hearing that call is standing, but boy, that on that angle, that looked like it was wide.
I would tend to agree. We'll see what the official ruling is.
And it's inconclusive, so call stands. There's a slashing motion from Ron Sparks, so
it looked really close. I would imagine on slow-mo that is just right on the edge of the blue line.
So again, you have to go with the original call on the floor.
That's one where you feel like any way the original call on the floor would have gone, it would have stood.
So this is big here for Sarah Pomar, trying to get her team back into the set. Get a call that goes your way, but Campbell Lane, oh, look out. That was a big swing into the middle. It looked like it caught Nicole Malice in the head. There's a way to side out emphatically. That was it.
Right. Bo Lane dropping the hammer right there after a little bit of break off the challenge. Yale challenge unsuccessful. Doesn't matter to Bo Lane.
Looks like Malice is okay. Gets a pass off in the middle, and the swing is long, but they're going to say block touch. Now, see, this is the one where if Yale doesn't challenge that call a couple of points ago, you probably challenge this one, but you don't want to lose a second.
Right. And you can also see a little bit of extra joy from Cornell right there, as that's a kill for Sydney Zonka, freshman out of Miami, Florida.
Just career kill number 3. And a kill against Harvard and a kill against Princeton. Oh, great decision, and Poinsett gets into the corner. Great job from Hallie Sherlock to pull the block.
An excellent job for Hallie Sherlock, just putting it on a tee for Poinsett. She doesn't miss many of those.
And I love, it's off your camera, but just a wry, cheeky smile from the captain. No, and yeah, I got that one good. Because it's not often tonight that Poinsett has been met by a one-on-one at a pin. Big side out from Jada Sion. It almost feels like if you do get a one-on-one in the pin, you have to put it away. And that's because of Sherlock on that last point. Is now CJ Holdsworth serving. Saw her briefly in set number 1 with a dig. Well, that was a late call to say it was long. I think it was a good decision to play it. Turns into a point for, or a swing for Convica, but misses it wide.
It's only the second attacking error for Convica tonight. Comes at an unfortunate time for Cornell. Now Yale up 6.
Campbell Lane serving. Sophomore forward kills a block assist and a solo block and a dig. As Poinsett try to claw that one into the corner. I give her a lot of credit for even getting a hand to it.
Yeah, but a nice attack right there from Cornell. As you get a look at Sarah Pomar headed to the bench, the libero out of Ponce, Puerto Rico.
Abraham doesn't miss those. I love the disguise. Bar off the slide. Block kind of pulled a little bit. There was a gap, and Larice didn't miss.
And that's the advantage of having the two middles, Barr and Abraham, in at the same time for Yale. Because so much to worry about if you're Cornell setting up those blocking schemes.
So a new best now for Larice is that's the 11th time this season that she's had 10 or more kills in a match. She had 10 last year. Again, you look for that progression, that elevation, Carter. You want to keep building, and that's what Larice is doing.
Right, at this point, you wonder how much higher she can go. Because this is her most efficient season yet after she hit over 400 last year. So who knows if she has even more in the tank.
Well, she has a question for you. She has plenty left in the tank.
This, again, just a dynamic attack from Larice Abraham. We saw her drop the hammer just a second ago. This time just getting a light touch on it. And again, that is just so difficult to defend.
So identifying the recognition of the block and just to rotate the different shot selection. That's really where she has grown this season. Not big every time, big every time, big every time. She's tipping, but doing it at the right moments because teams know how big she can swing. Back row goes back, blocks a little late to get there. Just tip it over. You're going to get points, and you don't have to use a lot of effort to do so. Good pass by Poinsett, and Abraham doesn't miss. That is how you receive a big topspin jump.
That is a dozen for Larice Abraham on 14 swings right off the serve receive. A nice dig right there from Poinsett. And that is ABC volleyball from the Bulldogs. Dig, set, kill.
You basically chop that up and send it to any coach of how you receive one of those types of serves. Malice going to make something of it. Great up by Yuri Park. And Yale can reset. Poinsett with the block late, but she hit the pin. Ooh, that's a chance there for Yale. Now let's see what Cornell can do. Pomar back to the line to serve. Boy, it feels like she was only there a few points ago. But Sarah needs a run. Can Yale have both of their timeouts? Kellen tools the block. Hasn't had a lot of work tonight, Lauren. In fact, that was just her third swing, but 2 kills off of it.
A key side out for the Bulldogs right there. It was a great receive off the serve from Aria Ju. And then good awareness on the near side for Yale. And Lauren Kellen just letting that one fall out. Now Yale at set point.
Serve from Mihailovic is long, so we play on. Again, we spoke about the urgency for both of these teams tonight. Cornell at 9-3, Yale at 8-4 in the Ivy. Cornell won the earlier meeting 3-0. If you're Yale to try and negate tiebreakers, you need to sweep. But you also need help. Yale trying to go up by 2. Bolane, not quite yet. Good scramble by Cornell. Second chance for Yale. Poinsett went for high hands, and the Bulldogs lead 2-0. Yale won at 25-20.
Cornell getting in on some of the action. Convica putting it right over that Yale block. Serve right here from Yuri Park. And this is another good job from Cornell. They've looked their best when they have been able to feed Eliza Convica.
Yeah, they have done a lot tonight. 24 attacks for her alone. The team has 69 as a total. But Yale, they've just been relentless with their offense. Hallie Sherlock leading this team to hitting close to 390. That's 390. That's a big number. They hit 433 in set number 2 alone. But again, it's all about finishing the job at home. We mentioned the tiebreakers and where things can lie. Yale have the tiebreaker advantage in sets 1 against Brown and Princeton. They can't have it against Cornell, but they can share it or at least level it if Yale win this in 3.
Always a fun time of the year, JJ, when we're talking about tiebreakers and sets 1
and watching scores from elsewhere. And we will get you some updates as we go throughout this third set of what is happening elsewhere. Big swing from Mackenzie Parsons. And you feel like for Cornell, they need Parsons to get going.
They need Parsons to get going. And that's also just a big start in set number 3. Because it was Yale who got out to a 6-0 run to start set number 2. So Cornell already ensuring that isn't possible here in the third.
And Parsons has begun tonight in terms of her swings. 5 kills off 7 attacks with no errors, but just hasn't had the volume. Has 2 on the block as Poinsett.
That's kill number 11 for Ava Poinsett. Got off to a bit of a slow start with just 1 kill on 11 swings. She's about halfway through that first set. Since then, she's been so good. That's 11 kills on 31 swings for the first year.
Oh, it's a great set to the far pin. Good block touch allows Kellen a look. Convica had a window. She went for high hands, but not the greatest contact. Poinsett. That's tight. Eliza trying to put it to the corner. Great read from Yuri Park. Yale, though, out of system. Back row, Malice. It's long.
How about Yuri Park keeping that point alive, JJ? got out with one arm, scrambling to her right, full extension, and it was Sherlock who put it over.
We're going to have a challenge, though, coming from Cornell. I don't mind this right now. It is very early on in the set, but that was a big point. A lot of scrappy defense from both teams gives everyone a chance to reset.
And if you're Coach Trudy Vandenberg, you also see Aria Ju headed to the service line. She's the one who started set 2 for Yale and got them out to that 6-0 run. So, you know, this could be a big turning point if you can keep her off the service line for just a little longer.
Again, remember, what is coming into tonight is here's our out-of-town score. We can confirm already Brown victors. That is important, by the way. And also Princeton winning as well. So here's where things stand at the moment. Brown are in for the day at 9-4. If Yale can see the result through, they would also be level alongside of Cornell. Princeton, if they were to hold out and finish the result against Harvard, they had to come back in that second set, by the way. That means Princeton would have a share of the Ivy title tonight. That can be guaranteed. That doesn't mean that they would host. Still a lot has to be determined before that. But boy, oh boy, things might have gotten really interesting. And also remember as well, Brown, they play Cornell tomorrow. Cornell came into this weekend tied for first. They could actually finish outright fourth.
Right. If these results stand as they are so far, it's the worst case scenario for Cornell if you lose and every single other team confirmed for the Ivy tournament is victorious tonight.
Also interesting from that Brown match, no Jessie Golden. Didn't play in that match, but Sophia Wolfson hit a casual 500, 10 off 18 with one error. So we're going to take a look at it now. That was close, but in fact the call is going to stand. So both teams down one challenge for the rest of this match. Also remember, Dartmouth plays Princeton tomorrow. Carter, we've seen Dartmouth take results off teams, most notably this Cornell team. Dartmouth winning in 5, back on Halloween, that spooky Halloween. Nothing spooky about that. It's an ace right into the corner. Aria Ju, who is on a big night tonight, gets it right there.
She's having a big night, and she was a bright spot for Yale in the loss at Ithaca with 20 digs in just those 3 sets, but she's made such a big impact on this match.
13 digs, 1 ace. Great recovery by Lauren Kellen to get there. Boulain just has to pop it over the net. Quick in the middle. Ju with the up. Another free ball sent over. The Yale getting to everything at the moment. Near pin. And it's wide. Jada Sion missing it.
That feels like a big missed opportunity for Cornell right there. They had Yale on the back foot in transition for most of that point, and yet they can't convert.
Tough receive in the back row, but Convicka will get a swing. Nice up by Ju. Net joust, won by Cornell. Sydney Zonko with the point. Ooh, and we're going to see Mary Wolcott come into the match, by the way. She'll go back to serve here. Wolcott, the freshman from Dix Hills, New York. State champion and state championship MVP at Half Hollows Hills West. High school All-America as well. The Boulain, quick the side out.
Boulain, so emphatic with these swings here tonight. And I'll tell you what, JJ, some of her teammates' hands must be red. Every single time she gets one of these kills, she reaches both of her hands all the way up and slaps them down.
There is no conserving energy. You just go. What do the kids say? All gas, no brakes.
Right, love the energy.
In point set, dropping it on the line. Yale lead by 4. As the first year, as we mentioned earlier, the likely front runner for the Ivy Rookie of the Year. Now up to a dozen.
Likely front runner for Ivy Rookie of the Year, 5-time Ivy Rookie of the Week this season. And she's a player who, of course, has so much talent, but also has appeared as such a polished player in year 1.
Great block touch. Gafkin scrambling it over. Yale a look. Point set. Nice up by Pomar. She had to go a long way to get that, but the swing is long from Gaffigan. Want to go back to Sarah Pomar. My goodness, she had to get over quick to get that ball.
Yeah, she did. Pomar, the captain in her junior season, really been a big part of this ascension for Cornell. Freshman season, 7 wins, now up to 14.
It's an ace for Mihailovic. With the crown honor, Yale leads by 6.
Yale's service has been such a big part of this match tonight, as that one drops quickly in front of Pomar.
Oh, and a smart swing. That got through. Convico with the point. She's got a match best 14. And Eliza right now is trying to drag this team out of the weeds and get them back into this match. Played her part. Tough receive by Aria Ju. And a point set made something of it.
That's excellent. Right there from Ava Poinsett. Able to get in and touch that one. And it was a great serve from Convica, but Cornell needs more than just Convica. Convica with 14 out of Cornell's 29 kills.
And Yale are just doing a great job at siding out. Malice with a big swing. Barr into the block. Gaffigan once again.
Strong from Gaffigan right there at the net.
Kind of wild. Yale are using Gigi Barr a bit as almost a pin hitter. Again, just trying to figure out some sort of shape within the rotation. Poinsett in the back row. The swing is wide from Malice. It is a big front line that Yale were working with and still are, with Abraham coming back onto the floor. This is Campbell Lane serving. And Hallie Sherlock, also don't take anything away from her, a half block per set this season. Big swing, better up by Poinsett. Malice got a lot of it. And put away, my goodness, Ava Poinsett. That's outstanding.
I mean, JJ, what can you say? I mean, just an impressive dig right here off the swing. And then what a smack from the back line. Ava Poinsett top spinning that one down onto the hardwood.
Here, I'll say this, actually, because you say, what can I say? Another year, the numbers that Poinsett are putting up, there's a case for her to get the Ivy Player of the Year.
Right.
Not just the rookie, the Player of the Year, but it just shows how many talented players are on this conference, as Parsons, last year's Rookie of the Year, puts it away. I mean, it's a tall test just of middle blockers of players that you could say could be the Player of the Year. Abraham for Yale has a case. Scalamandre for Princeton has a case. Wolfson for Brown has a case. Those are just middles. Convica as an outside has a big case. I mean, it's a big couple of setters. Sydney Draper has a case. I mean, she probably could win Setter of the Year.
And JJ, whether or not we get the Ivy tournament here in New Haven, I'm so excited for next weekend to see these 4 teams go against each other.
Friday night, wherever it's going to be, strap yourself in, get a couple of buckets of popcorn, because it's going to be 5 to 6 hours of great viewing. Great side out, Yale leading 13-5. Also, by the way, if you give Carter and myself a ballot, we'll gladly take it. That's not our responsibility. That is of the coaches, but we certainly could have a lot of fun with it.
Well, we've had the privilege of seeing almost every Ivy League team come here to JLA this season. We'll see the last one we haven't in Columbia tomorrow, but
I'm hungry, by the way. Frank Pepe's.
Is that your favorite, Pepe's?
We're not gonna discuss. It is a favorite.
Okay, a favorite.
It is a favorite.
Very diplomatic.
Yes. I will say in the Ivy League basketball media day for Yale women, it was Kylie Capstraw. The first thing that came out of her mouth was modern. So definitively.
Well, certainly love Pepe's.
Great swing. Parsons putting that off. Parsons with the serve, caught a lot of the tape. Abraham terminates. 14 kills for Larice Abraham, as that will send us to a timeout on the floor. Yale are flying as a team, hitting close to 390 in this match. Sure of the four. But Princeton right now up 2-0 on Harvard and leading by 3 in the third. There's a possibility that a win and the #1 and the Ivy title goes back to the Tigers. Which means for the second straight year in Dillon Gymnasium, the Ivy tournament will be showcased. Still a lot to happen before we get there as Bo Lane try to rip that through. Nice up by Doa Ozulp. Bo Lane just has to punch that ball over. Yale now with a better look here. Kellen teardrops it over.
There was really no other option for Lauren Kellen right there, the senior of Gulf Breeze, Florida. But how perfectly did she execute that teardrop?
Read where the back row was, read that the block came early, so dropped it, and Yale lead by 9. Strong hands by Bo Lane. Convico once again went for high hands, and it's good. Eliza up to 15 kills. She's gone for 20 or more 3 times this season, including a best of 25 against Syracuse back in the second day of the season on September the 6th. 5-set loss at UAlbany. It's a program that also featured games against number 9th ranked Horned Frogs of TCU. Big swing by Poinsett. Well, she keeps swinging big. That's up to 15, a co-match best.
Swinging big for Poinsett, and we've seen her at her best this season when she's been able to exploit that hard angle. You can see there sliding to her left. She comes across with that strong right arm. It's just so difficult for Cornell to handle.
Mila Mihailovic, who has an ace tonight serving. But that is also her 3rd error. Cornell, by the way, we haven't had a chance to touch on this, but their non-conference schedule is really good. Colgate a win, the traditional powers in the Patriot League. Beat multiple MAC tournament teams in Canisius and Niagara. Took Syracuse to 5. Went down to TCU, also played Rice, and then beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi. As Poinsett misses that one wide. This was tighter. Yale probably challenges that, which is why Cornell's RPI is hovering the 140s. Because of their strong non-conference schedule, teed them up into having a 14-win season so far. But Convica puts it into the net. Yale now 7 points away from the finish line. Gigi Barr back in for Yale. And it's an ace. She just can't do anything wrong tonight, can she, Ava Poinsett?
Certainly doesn't seem like she can't. Look at this right here from Poinsett. Well placed. Having to scramble to her right is Convica.
Poinsett back row attack. Yes! Crazy to think, by the way, Yale, they show up against the big teams in the Ivy, but this is, right now, if it holds, their best hitting percentage at home in a league match this season. Bettering the 369 mark that they had against Princeton back on Halloween. Service error, Pomar to serve.
And, of course, that hitting percentage led by Larice Abraham with 14 kills in 18 swings with no errors. It's a 778 individual performance.
The slide, Bo Lane gets it done. Also, Yale have a +15 on digs to Cornell. That That's a crazy number for the fact that Cornell are kind of in the middle of the pack in digs, and so are Yale. Yale averaged 14.5. Cornell just a little over 14 per set. Swing is good into the corner from Malice, but it's got to come now for Cornell. They need to get going. They need to have a great run of serve.
Yeah, that was really well policed from Malice, who's had a bit of an off night. That her third kill to match 3 attack errors. But Cornell needs to get something going here late.
And it's going to be Doa Ozalt to serve. Does have 19 aces on the season entering tonight, the senior from Istanbul. Sherlock sets near pin to Barr, gets it to go. Yale now 22-12. Allie Sherlock on 38 assists, 6 digs, running this offense to 376 tonight. Misses it wide. But again, Yale, they're serving for their spots.
They're serving for their spots, and they've really been attacking the corners, which has made it difficult for Cornell to set up a cohesive attack so far tonight. And when you're so often doing that, it's hard for Cornell to get their side-out percentage up where they want it.
CJ Holdsworth serving. And all Yale need to do is side out. But Abraham gets blocked. Mackenzie Parsons wins the battle.
These are 2 strong middles going head-to-head. It's the big hands from Parsons getting up and sending that one back. That's tough to do against Larice Abraham.
First error of the night for Larice. Was 14 clean off 19 before. Over on 2 by Sherlock. Scrambled up as Holdsworth committed to the dive, had to readjust, but Abraham got the 1-on-0 and put it away.
Larice Abraham can get up so high, as you can see Yale exploiting the free ball right here. But look at the acute angle this comes down on.
And now Yuri Park serving. It's been solid as always. Trying to get the block touch strong was Kellen, but tooling it is Convica. Now Mackenzie Parsons going back to serve. Again, Yale just looking to side out. And side out is what they'll do as Abraham racks up kill number 16. It's match points and 9 of them coming.
And it's a sweet 16 kills for Larice Abraham. What a performance she has had tonight in what is so far the most important match of Yale's season.
Aria Ju on 16 digs to serve, but error number 10 for Yale. It has not hurt them tonight. And they are serving tough, no doubt. And now it's going to be Mary Wolcott, who has the unenviable task here to try and stave off 8 more match points. It's Kellen to end it, which she will. On the night that Yale needed a win, they needed a sweep. They got both of them and keep themselves very much in line for a potential, well, what could be a share of the